Banger. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Banger! What up?
There we go.
Hey now.
All
Hey,
right.
uh-oh. Look at that
What
shit.
up?
Beers and bets.
Look at that guy's
Division
shit.
round
Uh-oh.
recap. Divisional round recap.
Oh, man. What?
Yeah, I have drowned my sorrows all day
begin?
by I got a TV at work, hooked it up, watched Camp Cretaceous on Netflix, the animated Jurassic Park show. You guys watch that show?
No, that one
I
hasn't
figured
made
you'd
it on
queue
my
up
list.
that Jewish basketball movie though.
They didn't. Still don't have it on Disney Plus. I've been
Damn,
checking
They're
every
missing
other
out.
day.
They are
They
missing
don't
out.
even understand the market, man. They don't get it.
Yeah. All right, but
Apology,
maybe
love you,
the
Matt. I felt for you, my man. That was a great game.
It was a great game. I wasn't expecting. I just didn't have the confident feeling I had last year that they were going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Didn't expect it to end yesterday, but it wasn't a terrible way to go out because of that fucking yesterday's a perfect example. If you're not a sports fan, you don't know what the fuck you're missing out on, man, because that roller coaster of emotions I went through in the Rams-Bucks game, I haven't felt anything like that,
dude,
in a year,
can't
really.
get that anywhere.
Yeah, like that type of
unless you're like
change in emotions. I mean,
I was gonna
do
say, unless you're
drugs.
like
Some people do drugs. That's close.
Yeah, like a crazy gambler. Like
yeah.
you're a crazy gambler, and my voice, you can hear it, dude. This is how much I enjoyed the best divisional round of football that we've ever seen. I think, man, that was the 4 best games that they really could have been.
Yeah.
Dude. Every game came down to the last play, man. And
every game ended on a winning field goal, right?
Except
for the Chiefs overtime
the
touchdown.
Chiefs one, which, we'll get into that. But yeah, dude. So it was like, yeah, man, that was so cool. And that's when people are like, yeah, I'm not a big sports guy. I'm like, what? I don't.
You don't know what the fuck you're missing.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Well, and maybe they
bad
don't
at 'em
understand it, or they. But if you're competitive whatsoever, like this was ideal.
Yeah, that's what it's like. You can compare like that high, like that emotion to like gambling, but it's like, what are the gamblers gambling on? They're fucking all betting. They're getting that out of fucking.
Isn't it more exciting to like gamble on sports than it is to like go to the casino and play blackjack? Like it's still the same thrill, but it's kind of more exciting it's completely taken out of your hands and you're just at the mercy of like sitting back and
it's awesome.
Watching it go down.
Awesome until I go back and look on Bovada or whatever and see the amount that I bet on the Chiefs. So it's good.
It could be worse though, because one of the inspirations for this podcast was Against All Odds. Cousin Sal, Jimmy Kimmel's cousin, is the host of it. He said he lost like something like $86,000 on betting the Packers money line on Saturday night. Yeah, because he was basically asking for a loan. He's like, yeah, I love football. It was an exciting weekend, but I need a $86,000 loan.
Yeah,
I'll pay it off in a year. So
that's all bad.
So what game are we getting started with like that one? Because that one, man, I mean, all of them were
we're going to talk all the games, but before we get into like specific games, let's go through all of our Monday headlines. I'll start off with this because we don't even have to get into detail about specific games to talk about this. But my big takeaway from the weekend was we're at the start of a new generation of quarterbacks, and it's head fronted by Mahomes and Josh Allen. Because we saw the downfall of Rodgers and Brady this weekend. I doubt either one wins another Super Bowl. I think if you set the odds right, it'd be more likely that neither Brady or Rodgers wins another Super Bowl from this point on. Mahomes and Allen, between the two of them, you could probably say you see 4 or 5. No, between Allen and Mahomes, dude, like those two teams are going to be the AFC representative. I would say like 4 of the next 6
Allen's going to have
years.
to lead, the pack, because we know Mahomes maybe only has.
Those are going to have to change a lot of what they do to beat the Chiefs.
I thought their defensive game plan sucked yesterday. I really did, especially in the closing moments.
Josh Allen's 500 in the playoffs. I think we're maybe a little premature.
Yeah. But Josh Allen has been incredible this year.
He's been good.
Yeah, he used to be the scary guy.
I think he has one interception ever in the postseason, but it's just 6 games total. I'm not ready to put him in that Rodgers Brady class of just you know what you're going to get out of him in the postseason. Well, I'm not ready to put him there.
But Rodgers hasn't been stellar in the postseason either.
I'm on
though.
board. No, he's not. He's not at all. But like Mahomes, he's there. I think he's
Yeah, well, dude, if that's you, because my headline was that when you texted that out, he'll always send out Matt will like our little
the little outline of the podcast
and what his headline's gonna be. And when he put that list, he didn't have Burrow on there, and I'm thinking Burrow might be ahead of Allen. Dude, he's showing something right now. We talked about it last week. How is he going to be that Roethlisberger or whoever that kind of comes on and you're like, God, he keeps winning games when you're like, how the fuck are they winning those games? And it might not always be because of him. I think Jamar Chase is probably the best rookie that came, right now he was the greatest pick.
He should be the rookie of the year for sure.
I think they pose a bigger threat to the, I like the Bills a lot, dude. They just ran out of time. It was what happened to the Chiefs the same way 3 years or 2 years ago, whatever it was, when they won or when they lost to the Patriots.
Yeah. I mean, just get a stop with 13 seconds left. That's what that comes down to, man. I mean, the Bucs blew it in a similar way, but.
Yeah, dude, that was terrible. But yeah, I think he should. Yeah, I think that. Plus, I also wanted to say, like, going away, because we're going to have to talk about it anyway. They were all good, but going away. Yeah, I think Burrow is that. I think he's proven it.
You throw Burrow in there with Mahomes and Allen. I just don't see like the.
I don't think
Allen with Allen.
Really.
Do you agree Allen's part of that? Okay, but do you agree with what I was saying? That like I feel like Mahomes is in a way different class than Allen. Allen hasn't proven it like Mahomes has in my mind.
To me, last night, dude.
Because if you look at it, Jimmy Garoppolo's been as many postseason games.
But Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't. He wasn't the. He has a great team, dude.
Right. It wasn't on his shoulders. That's true. But I'm just making my point that 6 playoff games, that's not much to like.
What was it? 25 points in 2 minutes. Like, dude, he went toe for toe with Mahomes.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
only reason
that was one of the best shootouts
because
they ran
out of time. And he was hitting Gabriel fucking Davis, dude, who I didn't even know about until like 2 weeks ago.
New fucking record.
Yeah. But dude had more yards.
Well, while you're talking that, what do you guys think OT rule? Because that was what I was going to bring up.
And
overtime rule.
Because honestly, like people get pissed about it, but the rule is what the rule is. We all know how it works.
You don't like it play better.
Like people react, but it's like, you also had 30 minutes maybe of time of possession throughout the game to handle yourself better. I don't know. Like, I don't get all the outrage over, we got to change it now.
It's like, dude, if they could do like something, I know you risk injury and it could go on but who's going to turn it off? Nobody. And someone's
doing like a college style.
Yeah. I mean, something like
I don't know. I don't like the college style.
Exactly. It could go on forever, but I'm saying it just does seem, again, like if I'm not a Bills fan, man, and I'm not a Chiefs, obviously.
Right.
But if my team lost like the Chiefs did when the Patriots beat them in the AFC Championship.
Yeah. I mean,
and this time it worked out for the Chiefs, right? Same type of thing, the other way.
So every fan that's there, all the Chiefs fans are like, fuck you, dude. We had to deal with that 3 years ago when he won a Super Bowl. And so it does seem like if you're a fan, God, man, the season comes down to a coin flip essentially, because at that point,
in that type of game, it definitely does.
No one was stopping each other, man. I mean, it sounds like stop them, and it's like that's not that easy.
Here's the best idea I could come up with, because in the regular season, if a game goes to overtime, you do want it to end as quick as possible, right? Because if it goes on forever in the regular season, it puts you at a disadvantage next week. But when it gets to the playoffs, I would like to see both teams get the ball. And say the Chiefs score a touchdown, Bills get the ball back, they match them with a touchdown. From that point on, it's sudden death. Next score wins, right? Both teams have touched the ball.
The problem is there would be an argument.
I would even take the sudden death out of it. You know what I mean? And just give each team gets one possession. Let's say they both score a touchdown, kick the extra point. That's fine. From then on, every possession you have, you you can't do anything but score a touchdown and go for 2. There's no field goal. There's no nothing. You have to score and go for 2.
Because no one's going to keep getting
because you look at like NHL's proven you can have a set of rules for overtime in the regular season, with the shootout. When you get to the playoffs, there's no shootout. You just keep playing overtime and overtime and overtime.
Right,
Brad, I like that addition to the rule too. And you could even go a little bit of a step further with that and say, in overtime, you don't kick extra points. You got to go for 2 all of overtime.
That immediately,
no matter what. Or
it just is. It is a raw deal for Josh Allen.
Yeah, I don't like
Josh Allen
games, but
played the best 2 minutes of his career, and again, Mahomes. This is so. It's weird.
What was it? 13 seconds? Wasn't that what he took?
Yeah, I thought it was over. I'm even with Mahomes on the Chiefs. I still thought the game was over.
It wasn't over. Shaky looked at me and goes, "Dude, this one's over." And I go,
Shaky, why?
And then I'm like, "Why am I here? Like, this is on me. I made this fucking choice, dude. Like, dude." I looked at him and I go, "Dude," and he goes, "Man, no way." And I'm like, "Dude, oh no, he's like, don't just stop, shut up,
stop talking."
Like, yes, yeah, dude,
right,
man, but
I thought the Bills almost like let them into field goal range though. In that
they did.
13 seconds, the 2 plays. But you don't need to drop 7 people 20 yards back. Well, you could drop 3 people 20 yards back behind the line of scrimmage.
Brought it up and put a guy on Kelsey, dude. They've sent 5 at the first play or whatever, or that was on whatever it was. But yeah, they were fucking up.
The first one went to Hill on a short one. He tossed it out left, and then the next one went to Kelsey for another like 20, 25.
Yeah,
they were in field goal range, and it was honestly easy. They didn't make it difficult enough.
It was a game of Madden.
Yeah.
And if I felt like Josh Allen, and then I thought what Josh Allen feels like, and I'm like, I don't think that.
I didn't just play like the best quarter of football I've ever played.
Invested as much. Yeah, I told Katrina that, and she was like, "Who's Josh? That's the quarterback, right?" She was like, "What are you? What are you talking about?"
Yeah. I'm with you though, and it wasn't even like it was your team in the Broncos, and I'm sure you was still a little bit of a heartbreak seeing the Bills lose to the Chiefs. I feel like we all like the Bills a little bit on this podcast.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
They've been underdogs our entire lifetime, right?
They got Bill Burr.
They were good maybe when we were 2 and 3 years old, before we were,
well, even
old
then
enough to really know what was going on.
Man, like Brad said, I think, or you did, like, can you imagine the Bills fans that paid to fly there and go to the game
and then leaving after? Yeah, because
dude sitting in the traffic and everyone's partying and you're trying to just get home. Like, you're like, yo, fuck you, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. When like 30 minutes later, you're like, we just scored. Gabriel Davis just scored the winning touchdown with 13 seconds left.
Yeah.
And then
talk about some
minutes
highs
later.
And lows, being a Bills fan.
Dude, and that's where, again, it just goes back to sports are, God bless them, man, because it's fun. But I'll put here that I have this in caps, dude. Unfortunately, this is from yesterday when I got home.
Unfortunately, you're starting to sound like fucking Ed Hockley making calls in the Bucks game because he's like.
Unfortunately, mad respect to Patrick Mahomes for going out of his way, running across the field right after
hugging Josh Allen.
To hug Josh Allen. That was like Kermit the Frog. You might have a little pair of nuts. They're not anything to brag about, but I mean.
I like Mahomes, man. I really do.
I know you do.
I mean, you guys know
you
that.
love him. I mean, you like every quarterback in the AFC. So I'd imagine that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the good thing about rooting for all these different teams, 30, man. Yeah. I still got 3 teams out of 4 that I really like.
That says fuck restructuring. That says fuck the restructure of the overtime or the playoff overtime thing. Like I need the whole restructure to add 9 more teams from the AFC into the fucking league. I need because the Chargers.
I can't believe you're not adding Herbert to the group of elite quarterbacks already. Like, just lump him in there, right?
Well, he
didn't make the playoffs, so I feel like it would be unjust to do do that. When we're previewing next season, he'll be right up there with Burrow and
Allen and Allen and Burrow. Where are we on that? Where do you guys think?
I think Allen's significantly better right now. I think
the situation is better as well. I mean, Burrow led the league in sacks. You know, it
For
was over
sure.
50.
That's a good
50
point.
something times he got hit this year.
He got sacked 9 times the other
right
on Saturday and still fucking
we
pulled
saw
out a
some
win.
crazy wins. You know, teams winning and Rams winning despite 4 fumbles. Like you kind of saw some crazy outliers. But yeah,
and if we take it back
how long can he take that punishment? You know, before it just.
And if you take it back 2 weeks in the wild card round, Max Crosby had 4 or 5 sacks against him in that game.
Yeah, get out the fish.
No, he did not.
We're reeling in hard now. I mean,
but
all right,
had to get him in.
They clearly need help on that O line. That's probably their biggest weak spot. So that's why I like Allen.
The Chiefs aren't set up so much to like take advantage of that next week. That's a plus for Cincinnati, right? I mean, you got Chris Jones on the inside of the D line.
Who do they have? Melvin Ingram? Is that kind of their
Frank
big outside
Clark
guy?
and Ingram are
nobody's made an impact.
Yeah.
It would be huge if Matthew doesn't play though, because he went out with that concussion. That would be a big time blow for the Chiefs, I think.
Yeah.
God, that was fucking.
I think Tyrann Mathieu's overrated, but
I think
they asked him to do a lot though,
I think
from being a slot corner.
He's just a leader. I think he's a good guy you want on the field because I do think that he's a playmaker too, man. He does get like weird little tips.
Yeah, this year I haven't seen that though.
Not as much. No, I get that, but I think just his leadership is important. They do reference that. I know it's lame to sound. It sounds lame, but you know how it is, Matt.
They need all the talent they can get in that defensive back end.
All I'm saying,
exactly.
All I'm saying. Where I'm from, you spell Matthew Mattthew. Right? I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
This is, I think,
he went to LSU. He's from the Bayou, I'm gonna guess. That's how they spell it down there.
So,
go Tigers.
Brad, your Monday headline was the overtime rules.
Overtime,
should we keep them or change them?
Right.
And then Jimmy, where are you at? You had something on the Titans-Bengals game?
No, that was more just I was going off of when you sent out yours. I was saying Burrow, or is he in that category?
You wanted to ask the question.
Is that? I mean, that's why I kind of already got into it, so I don't need to go over. But it's like that's where I was gonna go with it because
until I get a Joe Burrow jersey, he's probably just right outside of that.
My dad
and are we forgetting Russ
that showed
in this
up.
conversation
he said
too?
The Burrow one, he texted me.
Are we forgetting Russell Wilson in this conversation? You know, when we were talking about playoff quarterbacks, he's been there a lot. He's had success. I don't know. When I look at Josh Allen with 6 playoff starts, it's like Taysom Hill has that many playoff starts at quarterback.
Dude,
Marcus Mariota, Nick Foles, Jared Goff. I mean, these are all guys.
He wasn't a starting quarterback. He was just a beneficiary of being on a really.
Oh, I agree, but that's my point. It's such a small sample size.
I think Russell Wilson's almost on his way out. And by the time Russell Wilson was at his peak, the Seahawks had already begun their downfall. You know,
you think it's almost Russ and not the Hawks, though?
I definitely think it's the Hawks.
You think it's him?
Yeah, but I think by the time he got to where we could look at Russell Wilson as a top 5 quarterback, the Seahawks no longer had the team around him to compete. Apart, and when he won a couple Super Bowls with the Seahawks, it was when Russell Wilson wasn't, the number one reason they were winning those championships, right?
Yep.
So it's just the timing of him developing wasn't in sync with the GM and whoever else building the team around.
Well, they didn't hold on. I mean, the players they hit a home run in the draft. They hit the lotto. And when you do that, you get that championship. But at that point, Sherman, Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Bobby Wagner, Michael Bennett, like, dude, you have to keep Okun or whatever, right? Like they had great. I think, am I wrong on the line?
Yeah, Okun. You're good. Russell Okun.
They had, dude, and like Marshawn, like Russ, dude, they had to give him that contract. Doug Ball, they had guys around that had won the Super Bowl, and they were like, "Hey, pay up," and they've handled it. I think the best way to signal it, talking about the Seahawks fuck up, is Earl Thomas flipping off the sideline when he's getting carted off the field because they made him play under the. What was it? The franchise tag?
Well, and that was at Pete Carroll. That wasn't really.
But it was that the way it was handled, like kind of calling him out for not wanting to play.
He was kind of having a little AB moments though too.
That's what I mean. But
it's not too often a player on a Ravens defense gets like voted out by the team to say we don't want him here. Please cut him.
And that's fair. And Sherman does it. That's what I mean. But they hit the lotto.
And he has sex with his brother in the room. What kind of guy is that?
Let's talk about family closeness. Jesus.
That's family ties right there.
They from the South.
Jesus Christ. How you doing? Where are you sleeping tonight?
That's brutal.
I had another comment that I'll just keep to myself.
All
right.
You got to get in these other games, man.
Let's refocus a little bit and let's start with Bills at Chiefs, because that ending, all the games had epic endings. That one was the best to cap it all off.
I like the Bucks Rams ending, but all right.
I thought
25 points,
big too.
25 points in the last 2 minutes of that game. And I really
fucking dickhead.
I think the Bills should have won that game. And I just think the plan they had with 13 seconds left to go, it was almost like their defense.
I think you might be right, dude. Yeah, that's a good call.
They played defense like they were trying to stop the Chiefs from scoring a touchdown.
Yeah,
when there's 13 seconds left, all you need to do is stop them from getting into field goal range for 2 plays, and they're dropping way back. Those two plays were made way too easy by how soft that defense was. I couldn't fucking understand.
Was it the Chiefs that last year Mahomes got hurt? Was it the Bills they were playing when they brought in the backup quarterback, Henny or whatever, and he threw? Dude,
that was the Browns. That was the Browns.
Okay, but that play though, they should know that tape, and it's like the Chiefs do that when everyone's thinking they're gonna go for like the yardage. They just throw it to Tyreek and let him skittle,
and he gets 20 real quick and gets out of bounds.
Yeah, because then people, it's like when they in that America's Game with Warren or them, Derek Brooks or whatever, or John Lynch. He's like, people get passive. You see this guy running all over, and
talking about Michael Vick.
Talking
John
about
Lynch
Vick.
was talking about Michael Vick.
Got to hit him, you see it. Everyone's like, "Oh shit!" And it's like, "Oh." Then
and once you stop,
they did it all game.
And
the Bills did it all game. You can't let Tyreek have 11 catches. You can't let Kelsey have 8. Like if the Chiefs are going to beat you, you cannot let those two beat you.
One of them has to have
take
5.
one away at least.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
but it's just
the
whole game. I'm like, they just keep
do a terrible job.
I think Tyreek had 16 targets, something crazy like that. It's just like clearly he's open. It's like, why are you not double teaming one of the most explosive players in the league? That was my biggest surprise. Was this number one defense? I think maybe thought they were a little too good. They're like, oh, we can handle them man or scheme it up against them, and it did not work.
It did not.
I mean, Mahomes even out rushed Allen.
They both had. I think Allen had 60. Mahomes had 67.
Mahomes had that.
Mahomes had one more yard.
He
had one more yard. He had 69 to Allen's 68. But still, it's like Mahomes was. I don't know. I came away very impressed.
And dude,
shut up,
Mahomes.
All right,
I'll say it again. I'm ready to say it again, dude. Mahomes is the best I've ever seen play the position.
I can't believe you were dressed in full Kansas City Chiefs gear. I figured we'd already stripped of all this Bucks gear. We'd be Chiefs head to toe.
There was a fucking throw Mahomes made yesterday where he throws it from his knees and the ball stays 2 feet off the ground for 25 yards. I've never seen somebody throw a football he's throwing a football like a shortstop.
No one's having
throws it across the diamond.
Bad. No one gets hit. No one has to throw like that because no one fucking it didn't do shit.
I think other people would do it if they could.
Or Orlando Brown at left tackle is clearly not a long-term solution. I think they traded a third-round pick for him, right? Second and a third, I believe.
Is that the Ravens dude?
The Ravens guy, but all he did was play 6 games there as a fill-in, and then they crowned him their left
tackle. He's a good run blocker, right? He's a huge fucking dude.
He should be at right tackle. He's physically overmatched, and you saw it against supreme talent when and whoever went against him, it seemed like they're beating him anytime it was a one-on-one. So it just got to figure something out there.
That reminds me of the Bucks O-line yesterday.
Yeah. Well, at least the Bucks kind of had an excuse
made up for
that with injuries.
Yeah, and the injury was a big deal, but the left tackle that started the last 5 seasons for the Bucks, he was getting his ass kicked, and it wasn't even by Von Miller. It was I still can't remember the fucking dude's name. That was
Leonard
beaten.
Floyd or Greg Gaines?
No,
Gaines is another interior guy.
It was somebody I didn't hear about until yesterday, and he had a couple.
Well, we might as well get into that game then. That Rams Tampa.
Yeah.
Let's jump into it.
Who won?
The Rams
The good
beat
guys.
the Bucks again. The Rams do got the Bucks number, dude.
Chiefs, dickhead. Let's talk. Hey,
that's the third loss Tom Brady's had to the Rams.
Yeah.
Let's talk some Bucks, man. Why
well,
couldn't
it was surely
on
on his back too. I mean, 54 passing attempts, but it came down to Tom usually doesn't fuck up, and he had a pick and he had a fumble lost. And
that wasn't his only fuck up, dude. Tom was bad in the first half altogether.
He missed a lot of passes.
He was throwing it at people's feet.
In terms of turning the ball over, he's usually very, very conscientious.
And the pick before the halftime didn't cost him, right? Because Cam Akers fumbles it right after they throw him the interception. But that interception he did throw before halftime, Brady was frustrated. It reminded me of some of those games the Bucs have had against the Saints where nothing's going right, and Tom just starts doing the fuck it. I don't know what else to do. I'm going to chuck it up to Gronk. It gets picked.
Yeah.
I will say, props to the Bucs for sticking with it and actually finding a way to get in that game. And it was really the defense. The defense had more to do with that comeback than the offense did. The Buccaneers start from the 30-yard line twice. Those are 2 of the 3 touchdowns. We start on the Rams' 30-yard line. The Bucs defense gives it to him again. The Bucs defense gives it to him again on the 40. Tom Brady gives it right back to the Rams turnover on downs. The Bucs forced 4 turnovers, and they were on the field the whole fucking first half.
Bucs gave up on the run too early.
They did. You're exactly correct. I was thinking the same thing during the first half. I was like, we're down by 10 points, and we kind of gave up on it early. Yeah, you're right.
Plus, how big of an issue? Why did the Rams keep going to Cam Akers? He had 24 for 48 and 2 fumbles. Sony Michel gets 1 carry for 4 yards.
Yeah,
I think because they were trying to avoid the dangerous plays. Because the Bucs defense was creating some havoc. My point is, they made some mistakes too. What are they
seeing in a Cam Akers, fresh off an Achilles tear, over
maybe
Sony Michel?
Yeah, why wasn't Michel getting 8 to 12 of those carries?
A little half,
at least a split, right?
And then after the fumble in the playoffs, dude, LeGarrette Blount learned, in the Super Bowl against when he was playing with the Patriots against the Falcons, he fumbled the ball and he knew, dude. Then he was like, Belichick didn't play him again. He was benched the whole fucking game, dude. And it's like, dude.
Well, and Bill's not the only coach that does that.
No,
when it comes to fumbles.
And it's not. You don't have to do that, but it's like, dude, at least consider it. But you know what? McDaniel came in with McDaniel. Wow,
McVay.
All right. McVay came in with a great plan, and Odell looked fucking good too, man.
Odell was good on the first couple drives, and then he kind of faded off.
But that was first couple drives. They went down and scored they scored a touchdown on that drive, right?
They had a field goal on the opening drive, and then they came back with a touchdown on the second drive.
Yeah, man.
It just comes back. Can anybody stop Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, well, that mixed with the Odell,
crazy.
Cooper Kupp had a big fumble yesterday too, and the Bucs again, they didn't take advantage. They settled for a field goal when Cooper Kupp fumbles, gives the Bucs the ball in the 25. They settle for a field goal. The defense put them in enough positions to come back and win that game. And I would put the blame on the offensive line because Brady was getting pressured all fucking game. And then two, I'd put the blame on Brady, man. I really would. He missed too many throws in that first half yesterday.
He didn't play great, but I think we're not doing justice by not we got to give Aaron Donald might be the best player in the league, man. That dude is a beast. And he played him 3 years ago. They lost. He was mic'd up in the Super Bowl. You can look at it on YouTube. And he was motivated as shit before the game. So to lose to him in a playoff game, you get him again. At that point, you probably thought you would never see him again in a big game. So I think he was getting after his ass yesterday.
And he had the whole defensive line. Aaron Donald,
exactly.
Speaking to what you're talking about, man. He had the whole D line motivated to they were kicking the Bucs offensive line's ass all day.
Getting after that the whole time, dude.
Yeah.
Well, you combine the O-line issues with the receiver lack of depth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That doesn't.
How about though, Mike Evans just toasting Jalen Ramsey on that big 70-yarder, dude? That was impressive.
I think something though. I'll be on. What he's gonna say? Well, something was up with that turf there yesterday, dude. People were falling all over the field.
It's always like that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's real turf.
That's good when you have the greatest quarterback ever. Let's put him out there on that. Yeah, that'll. All right. Well, yeah.
It was nice though, because everybody
peace.
kind of hypes up that narrative, like, oh, Jalen Ramsey versus Mike Evans. Well, really, when they had played previously, Ramsey doesn't follow him to begin with, but then to have Evans just completely burn him. Yeah, I mean, he just outran him on that play. There was no tricky double move.
Ramsey looked like he kind of tripped.
Evans got the best of Ramsey yesterday, dude. I was kind of surprised.
I
think
too.
Caught him
flat footed. My last week we were talking about it, that matchup, and I was like, he'll probably have 20 yards.
Yeah.
That goes with all my bets from the week.
It was out of necessity though, right? Because Brady's going to go. He's going to try to victimize the other corners other than Jalen Ramsey first, but the Bucs just didn't have another receiver there yesterday. Scotty Miller was like the second best option at receiver. I love Scotty Miller, but he shouldn't be your second best option at receiver.
Then you're fucking reaching a little bit, dude.
Yeah. So let's make time for the other games. I'm done with Tom Brady. I hope he doesn't come back to the Bucs.
Oh my God.
All right. Dude. Let's go to 49ers Packers.
Another uniform.
Let's finish this part with 49ers Packers, because I feel like we've already talked enough Bengals Titans. We can dip into that a little bit. But that fucker it's better that I don't know his name, whoever the special teams blocker is on the Packers punt team. But to get driven back like that straight into the punter on that blocked punt.
Oh,
yeah. How is that dude even a football player, man? Because it was pathetic how much of skates he was put on that block.
How is he a football player? How the fuck? Who is their special teams head person? Because you go back to the Seahawks game and the NFC Championship game when on the onside kick and it bounces right off his damn chest.
Yeah.
Who's picking these fucking guys out there? Dude, what are they doing, man? What are they doing?
Because it wasn't like it was a miss. Like a lot of times you see a blocked punt in the NFL, right? And it's because somebody comes free unblocked.
Yeah.
Like the way you stunt or whatever.
Dude.
Somebody gets a free run at the punter. They jump and block it.
Drive.
This dude drove a dude, whatever it is, 15, 20 yards back into the punter and got a hand up and blocked it. How do you get pushed back 20 yards in fucking 2.5 seconds?
Yeah,
or whatever it is?
Well, that's how much you got to give credit to the other special teams coordinator, because he probably watched. I was like, this guy's right here. Yeah. And we're going to put our biggest, meanest dude on that weak little guy.
Yeah. Just fucking
throw his ass back into it.
Drive him back like a fucking light sled.
And he probably was saving it all game for that
moment. Who's it going to be?
I couldn't believe it, man.
Yeah, there's my bitch. Remember in Waterboy when he's doing the onside kick? And he's looking for a nervous guy, and then he finds like a white guy or I think it's a black dude, but he's like shaking and he kicks it, and he's like, "Yeah, all right, there's my bitch." Dude.
And then even the block punt goes like straight up in the air. The Packers had a chance for somebody to like run and get a hand on that ball. Nobody knew where the fuck the ball was, dude. It was up in the air for 4 or 5 seconds. Nobody found it except for the Niners
you don't
dude
see
who
a pawn
scooped and
block
scored
like
it.
that too often.
They're doing the Warren Sapp from the NFC Championship game when he's pointing at the ref, looking up, like when he's looking at the
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Well, they got after Rodgers' ass too. I mean, that defense, holy shit.
They did. But the question I wanted to ask, Brad, is if that blocked punt does come down at the 3-yard line and the dude doesn't scoop and score it, say the Niners start with the ball on the 3-yard line, the way that game was going, I don't know if the fucking 49ers punch it in from the 3.
I agree.
So it was really big for him to scoop and score that.
That was
it'll be interesting.
That was huge, dude. That was like, man, because when that one killed me.
I think it'll be really.
I wanted the Packers to win, man, and the whole thing, not just.
Yeah,
super.
I wanted the Niners to win, so the NFC Championship was in Tampa, but all the puzzle pieces didn't work.
I think it'll be interesting seeing the Niners going forward, though, because Green Bay kind of put a blueprint together how to stop Debo. I mean, I think he had 10 rushes for 39, 3 catches for 44.
That is limiting Debo. That is limiting Debo.
But you know what I mean? Like
that doesn't take how many yards did he have on that? They put him in at kick return, and he got a kick return to start the second half for like.
But all I'm saying is they've shown how to stop him or neutralize him a little bit.
Going right now in the league in the playoff.
Yeah. What about Mahomes?
fucked.
Well, and it comes down to like they can only doctor up looks so many different ways for him. You know what I mean? Garoppolo physically can't throw it well enough down the field to take advantage of him that way. You know, so it's like, how many jet sweeps and fucking crossing routes and man coverage, you know, can you get them on? And
I mean, look where they're at. I don't know. It looks like they've done. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers.
It was just the worst game he's had in a long time.
After the game, Rodgers is like, "What the hell just happened?" You know, it was kind of just like, "It's over." Yeah. Okay,
get sacked 5 times.
Didn't it feel like what the fuck just happened when you watched that game? It was like,
yeah, I did watch Aaron Rodgers post game presser, and he did say up front, he's like 10 points on offense isn't going to be enough to get it done.
Yeah,
but then he was like, you know, special teams. They didn't help us out at all.
Yeah. No,
I was just like, oh,
well, especially when they're so
classic Rodgers. Just
what an asshole, man.
Special teams. Well, they fucked everything up for us.
Whatever, bring him to Denver, dude. I need him, man.
Especially when Robbie Gould's perfect on the other side. I didn't realize
Robbie
he's
Gould.
perfect in his playoff career.
Did you see the video? The Packers are getting introduced. They're running out of the tunnel, and the announcers are, you know, calling starting at offensive tackle. Blah, 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 David Bakhtiari. Right. And Robbie Gould is just shooting field goals over them running out of the tunnel. He's practicing field goals like straight over them running out before the game. And then he kicks one to win it, dude. So it was just a cool video to see after the fact. Him getting extra kicks in right over the Packers line to run out onto the field.
It's like,
well, it's crazy to think he didn't even want to be in San Fran. You remember that a few years ago? They kind of forced him to stay there. He was ready to go back to Chicago.
Talking about Gould? Yeah.
Gould, yeah.
Yeah.
And the family, everybody wanted to go to Chicago, and the Niners like, no, we're keeping you. You can retire, but we're keeping you. And he's paying off.
Yeah. We're down to like a minute, so should we just do a quick?
Let's take a break and we'll come back and we'll go over the Bengals Titans because I'm sure there's enough that we missed there that we can touch on.
Yeah, we can.
Fucking Joey Burrow, and then after we wrap up Bengals Titans, we'll get into trivia on the next part.
Baby.
All right,
that's
what everybody wants. That trivia, right?
Everybody's favorite.
All right. We'll be right back, y'all.
All right.
Cheers, boys.